All right, the main event crew is tired. Our voices may not hold up for the next 30 minutes, but here we are bringing you our breakdown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl victory. We are Tampa Bay, and this is the main event. Dude, what do you say? What do you say, gentlemen?
Give me a hand.
It's been a long time coming.
They did it.
It's been a long time coming. They put the crowning jewel on probably the best sports year in Tampa Bay sports history.
That without a doubt. You can't argue that whatsoever.
No, this must be what it's like to live in Boston.
No, hey, whoa, time out. Whoa. Let's not go off the deep end here, bro.
Even give it attention.
Pour into the cold. It's really cold in Boston right now.
We are not massholes.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I think TSG's got a solid lean going. I feel like he might be sitting in that seat that B-Love broke at my house last night.
Yeah. Why did I find it in my front yard? What were you guys doing last night?
Oh my!
Really weird.
Hey, listen, that just goes to show you that your patio furniture, is either old or maybe you need to check the weight limits on it, because I believe Pooh Bear also broke one.
Yes, second.
Guilty.
Yes.
Guilty as charged.
Hey, we had some breakage last night because that seahorse in the pool day, it was brand new. I didn't make it either.
That's on
Poppy went for a ride.
It was more of a molestation than a ride.
Oh my gosh, so awkward, but it was funny.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm so happy right now. It's great to be in Tampa Bay, huh?
I don't want to be anywhere else, bro. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Between
I
the
lived
weather
here my whole
and
life. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Yep.
Pretty great. So hopefully you guys have recovered from our night of glory. A little bit. Chief, not so sure.
I'm stable. My hands are. I'm not shaking. I'm good.
First thing Chief says when he logs into the green room is, "I hope this is going to be short." Man, my voice is barely holding up. So
for me, that's what it is.
So I had to figure we break it down a little bit, from the perspective of a couple of, not just football fans, but here we are, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, talking about our team winning the Super Bowl. And I thought we'd do something a little bit different. I don't know about you guys. You've probably been watching TV today, just like everybody else has. And they've spent hours breaking this game down. And I think we have a unique perspective, being from here, being fans of this team. So I figured instead of, running through a bunch of stats with everybody, we would just talk about what were some of our favorite parts of the game.
Well, I had some predictions. And can I just go over my predictions? See how well I did?
The floor is yours.
If you remember, the first thing I predicted was that I predicted the Buccaneers were going to win and that Arians would be drenched in Gatorade, which he was. I did get the color wrong. I predicted red, and it was blue. They didn't show it on TV, but it's out there, and you can find it on YouTube.
That's because it wasn't Gatorade; it was Powerade.
Still should have been red. I chose red for Buccaneer red, but because pewter is just kind of disgusting. You don't drink anything pewter color. So I also predicted that the coin toss would be heads. I also predicted that the Buccaneers will win it. They did not win it. The Chiefs won it, but I kind of went by default. It was heads, yes. So I got that much right. But then, the Chiefs, I also predicted that the Buccaneers would choose to take the ball, which of course the Chiefs lost, or Chiefs won it, and they deferred, so we got the ball anyway. So I'm going to call that kind of a
victory for you.
Yeah, I call it a victory for me. And then finally, I predicted that they would show Giselle on TV at least 4 times last night. So
I don't remember seeing her at all.
No.
Well, I was trying to do a little research today, and I'm looking up Giselle on the interweb, and I couldn't really find out the number of times.
Be careful what you're searching for there, Chief.
Right, you got to be careful there.
Be careful, Chief.
Line.
So
hey, it's funny. It's funny. So they were, of course, you've seen Tom Brady being interviewed all day today, and somebody made a crack with him about how he's like one of the first Super Bowl champions to get to sleep in his own bed. Then he was like, "Yeah, I didn't sleep on my own bed last night. We had family from all over, I guess, the country in town for the game." He's like, "I ended up sleeping in my daughter's room."
Dude, the house is like 20,000 square feet.
Right? Right?
Yeah. It was crazy, though, that the family was gone for almost 2 weeks until that last, I guess it was that last day. He had the house completely to himself. He couldn't watch enough video, he said. But finish. Yeah. What else you got?
Well, that was the end of my predictions.
Oh.
Now, didn't he ask them all to leave so he could focus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needed to focus. Watch. I mean, you imagine how many hours and hours of video he watched and how much, I mean.
What about Antonio Brown? Did he kick AB out too? Or
I was going to say, where was AB?
I don't know, but I imagine AB was right there in his own room watching his video that he should be watching, or maybe they were watching the same. Maybe they were talking about it together.
They weren't watching the same video. I can almost
AB didn't even have a team at the beginning of this season, and a guy catches a touchdown pass last night.
Yeah. He so there was another guy from the Man Event who made a prediction back in October, and that was my cousin, Mr. Dig. And if you like and subscribe to this channel, you can go down the list of videos and you can see Mr. Dig with his legit hairdo and analysis predict the win that we were going to go to the Super Bowl, and then also predict how we were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
He did.
Now Vita Vea didn't cover Tyreek Hill like he predicted, but I mean, he did win.
I think Vita Vea did his part, though.
Although I will say this, I was watching the highlights, parts of the game again over today, and I did notice he gave up on a play. It obviously didn't matter. I don't think they ended up getting the first down after this, but he gave up on a play chasing Mahomes where he could have caught him because there was, I think Shaq Barrett came in from the outside, forcing him back inside. So it was just kind of I was like, man.
Cooper, are you trying to tell me you think Vita Vea can run down Mahomes?
No, but what ended up happening, I can't share the video, obviously, but what ended up happening is that Shaq Barrett slowed him down so much that Vita Vea could have caught him had he been hustling a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's a nitpick thing. I'm not going to nitpick on a 350-pound man.
You better gain a couple.
That's only played one game this season, right?
Never stops. It's a good point, but you know who never stops coming? JPP. I've watched him, and if he would have been going until that whistle blew. He always does. I've seen him last night get knocked from the back. He has such an illegal block, get knocked to the ground. Never seen a man that big get back up so fast and back at it again, only to get knocked down again from behind, and no call.
Yeah.
I mean.
So what other than the victory, what were some of your favorite parts or some of your takeaways from the game?
I liked Antoine Winfield Jr.'s little he got flagged for it, but his little mock over Tyreek Hill with giving him the peace sign. And if you did, I don't know if you guys watched or not, but they broke down why he did that, or at least said why he did. And it's because when Tyreek, the first game they played in week 12, when Tyreek basically blasted him and did a backflip into the end zone as he's running away from Antoine Winfield, he gives him the peace sign. So Winfield was like, "I'm giving it back to you, buddy." Yeah. So after he made that defended that pass, he made sure that Tyreek saw him. Peace, brother.
Yeah. Well, how about Brady getting up in the Honey Badgers grill last night?
Oh yeah, a lot of jaw jacking there.
Yeah. Yep.
Uncharacteristic of Brady.
Yeah, and he's come out and admitted as much since then.
Yeah, he apologized.
I think I saw somewhere that he apologized. Yeah,
he apologized to him. So,
yeah.
I thought the commercials, that's been a big deal for almost 20 years now, and lately in the past 2 or 3 years, there's always been a couple of zingers still in there, but I don't really have a memorable commercial from last night's game.
Nope,
nothing really. Yeah,
it was a little too loud.
Either that or we were too busy.
It was busy. It was loud. We had kids running into glass doors. It was just a mess.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
I did. No, that was the first thing I checked on this morning. I'm like, I got to make sure he doesn't have a bloody nose still.
Well, I checked on the door this morning. It's okay too. So
all right, good.
We're all good.
There was someone streaking in the quad though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in a mankini.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nut job, man.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't understand the allure of doing that. Yeah. So
he got a one-way.
I don't know.
Jail.
Yeah.
Listen, I thought overall they had the best complete game that they've probably had all year. I know it's easy to say that right now after a Super Bowl victory, but special teams played great.
Yeah.
The offense played great. The defense played great.
It was essentially mistake free.
Yeah, I mean, I think we only had one penalty in the whole game, or it was very low penalties for us.
Yeah.
Remember 4? Okay, so I just think the defense, for whatever reason, to me, has looked really good the last 4 games.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, all of us felt all season long that defense was our weakness, and during this playoff run, the defense has been our strength.
Oh, absolutely. The defense won that game last night from my perspective.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't have that perspective.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Those guys struggled back in November. We were talking about it in the green room, and in the trophy presentation, Tom Brady made a little comment there that indicated that they had a discussion earlier in the season about how this works. And that's that we all get together and we work on one thing at a time, and we continue to knock these things out, improve them, figure out our weaknesses, figure out our strengths. And we just keep going and keep pounding the rock, to quote John Gruden. And until you get all of these things fixed. And then by the time we get to the playoffs, we should be almost really rolling. We need to be rolling. And then every game we get better and better, get more confidence. And then by the time you hit the Super Bowl, they're running, and they were. And, it happened in New England. How many times did we see New England start off rough in the season? And then all of a sudden everyone thinks they're going to be bad. And all of a sudden, boom, they're right back to being New England. They tackle those things one at a time.
Yeah. And I think, you look back to this year, and we had one of the worst run offenses in the NFL. And if you look at the last 3 games, our rushing game has been pretty good. And I will say, I think one of the differences is when Rojo got hurt and we had to go with Fournette as the feature back. I think that made a huge difference. And I think from the defensive perspective, getting Vita Vea back these last couple of that dude is a hoss, man.
That dude is just absolutely huge.
But I think all in all, I think Tom Brady, and this is the point you were just making, TSG, I think he makes the whole football team better. It's like I used to say all the time, the thing about Peyton Manning was he was the smartest guy on the field. It wasn't, I'm not, saying he didn't have the skills. He had all of the necessary skills,
right,
except maybe the legs as a quarterback. But what made him better was he was just the smartest guy out there. I think Tom Brady has everybody out there believing that they're a Pro Bowl player. He just makes everybody around him better.
I agree with that.
Can we talk MVPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom won it, but was he really the MVP?
Yeah, I think that's what we're getting at. We all know Tom won did any of you see him as the MVP of that game? I mean, I just gave him these accolades.
I know you did.
I mean,
he is by far the most valuable player of the season. He raised this team to a different level.
Yes.
Is he the MVP of the Super Bowl? TSG, I know you got something to say about it. I'm going to piggyback on what you have to say.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that defensive line, that defensive front was crazy. They were relentless. It's almost like they took a shot of adrenaline before the game and they just kept coming. There was no turning back. It was, you know what? They knew it's the last game. You leave nothing out there. You leave it all out there, I mean, is what I'm saying. But my wife was at the game first level. I told you guys, she ICU nurse. She got fortunate and they gave her a ticket, and that was awesome. And she was really close. And she said Shaq Barrett and just all of those guys, she goes, they were everywhere. He had nowhere to go, and he's just running in the backyard like they're playing tag. Yeah. And he's just got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So I understand everything that you're saying about, the defensive line, but I'm gonna take it a step further, and I would say, really and truly, the defense in general would receive MVP or accolades, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's harder to play defense than it is to play offense. The offense knows where the ball is going to go. The defense does not. The offense can concentrate all their firepower into one area. The defense has to cover the entire field. The only way you can successfully do that is if everybody plays their position. And the Chiefs, there's no one better in the NFL than crossing through zones than the Chiefs do. And when you do that, what happens is, say Tyreek Hill, as he's coming across from the left to the right, going across midfield, you lose him. He gets lost in traffic. He starts off with the corner, he winds up with the linebacker, and over on the other side, there's supposed to be maybe a safety that picks him up, but the safety has lost him because the safety is looking at this receiver that took off, on the left side a few seconds earlier. The Buccaneers stayed home. Everybody played their position. It's really hard to do. And by the way, it's very selfless to do that, because you think you've got a shot. You're like, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the playmaker this time. And you wind up over pursuing on the defensive line. They didn't do it. The linebackers, I'm sure they saw what they thought was going to be an opportunity. They didn't fall for the bait of a trap, and they stayed home. And then Travis Kelce was, almost taken out of the game. Again, the secondary, what an amazing job they did on keeping track of Tyreek Hill and Robinson and, the other receivers that are out there.
Pringle.
So, great job.
Don't forget Pringles.
Chief, go ahead.
John Jones is watching. He agrees that Tom Brady should be the MVP. He played lights out in the first half, which he did. I mean, there's an argument to be made, for or against Tom Brady being the MVP.
Yeah, I think too, Chief, to your point, you said on the show on the pregame Super Bowl show that we had that your key to the game was we had to get Mahomes uncomfortable.
Yes.
And keep him contained. Now, if you remember the first drive, he got loose a couple of times.
Yes.
You were losing your mind.
I was frustrated. I was absolutely frustrated. I was blaming JPP on his side. I believed he over pursued. Yep. And he wound up getting sucked in, and there goes Mahomes doing what Mahomes does. He learned. He learned. I'm glad that happened in the first drive because he learned from it and didn't happen again.
Yeah, they made some adjustments for sure. They definitely, the Chiefs did not have either of their two tackles. The two tackles they had were reserve players, and I believe there was another position player had on the offensive line had switched from either left guard or right guard. I can't remember exactly what, but it showed. The Bucs were able to get pressure with just the 3 and 4 man rush all night long. The Chiefs had to keep in somebody to help block. That was allowing for double coverage down the field. That was allowing to eliminate those crossing routes, because if your tight ends are in blocking and your backs are in blocking, trying to protect Mahomes, they can't run those crossing routes with the extra options. So I think that was a huge portion of the game that made it possible for the Bucs to look so dominant on defense. Was their injury issues on the offensive line for the Chiefs. So maybe that they should get the MVPs, the Chiefs offensive line.
Okay. I described it to my wife as, watching it like a python wrapped around someone and just slowly killing them over 4 hours, and just till they can't breathe anymore. And
that's how I felt about the halftime show, by the way.
Oh, wait. I can recreate the face mask they're wearing. Hold on.
Nice job.
That's not bad. Actually. Not bad.
Chief, I thought you were distracted by Javi dancing during the halftime show.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, Chef Javi was all about the halftime show. He loved it.
Dude, he loved it.
He did love it.
He's like, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever heard. I'm like, did you watch Prince at all ever at the halftime show? Did you see U2 at the halftime show?
Did you see last year's halftime show?
Yeah. Or that.
Anyway.
Are we going
How
to
do
be
you
able
guys feel? How do you guys feel about next season? Right. I mean, obviously, like right now, you want to say there's no way we don't. I mean, we haven't lost a game in 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We haven't lost a game, and we haven't lost since we lost to Kansas City.
Right.
And if you remember, after that game on this show, we said they've got to run the table to even make the playoffs at that point. And they did. They won the last 4 games, obviously make the playoffs. But how do we look? There's some work to do because we got some key free agents or some key players who are going to run into free agency. But how do you feel about this team's opportunities, its chances for next year? What do you think they need? Who do we need to sign?
Well, Tom said on the stage he's coming back. Right. Of course, I think he's under contract, so that's not really an issue. But the fact is, he could say, "Hey, I'm done. I'm going to retire." So he made that announcement. Whether or not that holds true come August, we don't know. Gronkowski said today he would love to be back. So it seems like there's going to be this effect of. Matter of fact, Mike Evans said he would take less money.
Yes.
Somebody shared that a little bit ago. He would take less money in order to keep some of these other players.
Now, who did that for many years? Where did he pull that from?
It was
Peyton
Tom.
Manning did that.
What happened in New England?
Tom Brady did that for
Tom
years.
did it in New England.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see that kind of a landslide effect of, hey, I need to be next to greatness. I want to get one of those rings as well. I'm going to stay. I'm going to, come to town. You may see very few of these players leave that are up for free agency.
Tom,
I have a list of people here. I have a list of free agents that I've put together of the ones that we don't need and the ones that we do need.
Okay.
Fired away.
So first of all, let me say this about next year. Number one, this team learned a lesson this year. They learned how to win. They learned how to prepare, and they learned how to win, even through adversity, and that is going to carry on to next year. Okay, here we go.
Chief, on that, just to add to what you're saying there, he may have changed our culture forever.
Well, at least for the the extended future, because the lessons that he taught the younger guys that will still be here, those guys will be able to carry those on.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay, here we go. These are free agents that I don't think we need. Here.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay, guys, free agents that we don't need next year: Antonio Brown, Gronk, Sue, McClendon, Gabbert, McCoy. Barrett's a question mark, and Fournette. Free agents that we do need to sign.
Whoa. You just said we
don't
need any of those guys.
We don't need those guys. We don't
need Gronkowski.
We don't need Shaq Barrett.
We have got the best tight end core in the entire NFL. We do not need the Gronk. We don't need him.
Wait, you say
Antonio Brown. We have LaShawn, Scotty Miller. Don't need him. Running backs.
You're going to have to either sign Godwin.
Hang on. Let's slow it down a little bit. You're going over a lot of names really fast.
Well, we're running out of time. I'm trying to get this thing in.
Longer.
This is true, but they're also going to look at this from a salary perspective. So Scotty Miller is not going to command a high salary. So he's going to be one you're going to be able to keep with.
We're keeping him anyway. He's under contract. He's not a free agent.
Well, you just said.
I said we don't need Antonio Brown because we have Scotty Miller. Right.
Oh, gotcha. 10-4.
Yeah,
understood.
Okay.
Okay, Sue is 34 years old. He's going to move on to 35.
We're getting some. John Jones says to check your notes again. He's calling you out, buddy.
On what? Uh-oh. Well, check my notes on. Oh, he doesn't like my notes. My notes are solid. We don't need Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert's our number 2 quarterback. What we do need is to draft a quarterback that Tom Brady can teach how to play quarterback in the NFL.
Here's John's point. all those players you just listed weren't
the-
here last year either, and they're the ones that scored all the points.
Yeah, you're right. They did score all the points, and you know what? I'm a little annoyed by that because we had our guys that were that were on the field and didn't really get the opportunity to show what they could do. I will say this though. Okay, if you're going to take Mike Evans out of the game, which I think that the Kansas City Chiefs defense did, and Godwin, they took Godwin out of the game. Okay, you got to find somebody else to throw the football to. Okay, OJ Howard will be back next year, and OJ Howard can absolutely take Gronk's position.
But he hasn't proven it yet, and I'm a Howard fan. I'm saying he can't.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that's an unknown commodity. He hasn't finished the season yet. The guy's been in the league 4 years. He hasn't finished the season yet. Gronk played all 16 games this season and 4 playoff games.
And blocked like mother.
Nobody's business. Exactly. That was our –
I'll tell you something, Pooh, to your point. That pass that Hudson missed in the corner of the end zone, remember? Just missed that corner touchdown end zone. Hudson, the tight end.
Yep.
Gronk being 2-3 inches taller, bigger hands, better hands, he would have caught that pass. I'm telling you. That's the difference. It's just like this much.
I don't know. I mean, the argument I would make too is I feel like during the season or late in the season, when they realize we don't necessarily need Gronk to catch balls, and they featured him more as a blocking tight end
to get the running game going.
More that changed the whole offense.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a big blocker, a big man.
So, all right. So Gronkowski up for debate, but he is a free agent, so that's going to have to be a decision that Jason Light's going to
I can live with AB.
Yeah.
I can live with AB.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I can live with Blink.
Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh is
he's not going to get a long-term deal.
No, he only does 1 term. He only does 1 year.
Yeah, it's LaShawn McCoy. Shady McCoy.
No, did he even play?
He's been MIA. Where'd he go?
Why is he getting a ring? I didn't even see him.
I don't know. Where did he go?
Didn't you say Fournette?
I did say Fournette.
Oh, no way. He's our physical back. It's the 1-2 punch. They work together.
Well, wait a minute. So you're telling me we don't need to re-sign Fournette?
No, running backs are a dime a dozen. Every college has got big backs coming out, and we have Rojo still under contract. You get another big back to be the power guy. We're going to be just fine without Fournette.
Now, didn't you have a problem? Did you have a problem with that goal line stand that Ronald Jones tried to run in and it got stopped? It should have been who? Was that you or is that a broadcaster?
That was a broadcaster. I don't think.
All right.
I did like them following Vita Vea though, and
yeah.
And I like throwing to the tackle. That was a good, or the guard. I think it was a guard.
Man, Joe Haig is a tackle, man, and 2 hands, right in the face. Just got. It shouldn't have been to him either, man. That's another gimmick play. I mean, you don't go in there expecting to throw to him, and I know that's why they did it. And he was wide open, but he didn't bring it home. We have tight ends that play the exact same position he lined up in that could have brought it in.
I understand, but
all right. So now we've established that I'm right on the ones that we don't need. Let's talk about the ones that we do need.
All right.
Nunez Roches, because if we're not going to re-sign Sue, we're going to need a defensive tackle in there next to Vita Vea.
Okay.
Nachos
coming back.
Suck up. Dude, you cannot find a kicker on the main event or anywhere else.
Listen,
Suckup's 35 years old, but for a kicker, he's still got a lot of leg in him.
He can kick another 10 years. Yeah,
we need him.
Yep.
Godwin needs to be made. He needs to be a franchise tag on Godwin. We need him. We want him. He needs to stay here in Tampa.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So those are my thoughts.
What about Levante David?
Oh, Levante David, absolutely. He's another free agent, and he's going to come down to money.
So is Shaq Barrett.
And so I'm not really that sold on Shaq Barrett. I mean, I know Shaq Barrett for 2 years now has, done us right. He's done very well, and I love to see him. Again, if he's willing to respect, that we made him into the legend that he is today, and he's willing to play for a reasonable amount, fantastic. You know, I'm happy to have him back.
Well,
But
I think he had a little something to do with being made into the legend he is with his play. But this is hands down right now the best linebacking core in the NFC for certain. Right, those three guys between David and White and Shaq Barrett, and if you can throw JPP in there because they play in 3-4,
right,
whatever, there is none better. So breaking that up may not be the worst thing. If one of them has to go, you can plug a piece in and maybe do some coaching and get to that point again. But right now, I mean, that's you pay him if you can. That's my opinion.
Levante David is 31 years old. He'll probably be 32 next season. And number one, how much life does he have in him? Number two, playing linebacker. That you're more likely to get hurt playing linebacker probably than any other position out there.
Well,
so
he had 12 tackles
last night. But I mean, dude, you're rough on these guys over 30.
Hey,
he's an agent.
These guys,
I get hurt regularly, so I mean, I understand, that age has something to do with it.
These guys might be smart, and they might work out a deal where there's a lot of short-term deals across the board, so that everyone will buy in, maybe take a little less, but they don't have to take a little less for a 5-year contract. You know what I mean? They take a little less for a year, maybe
for a 2-year deal. Yeah, 2-year deal. Yeah.
And then go, hey guys, after that, go get your big deal or whatever, and they might want to stay around and win some games with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of that. I'm hoping you see a lot of that.
I think Jason Light will probably be calling Chief tomorrow.
Well, I got my list right here. No matter what John says,
he might be calling him because of that 2-minute drill. That 30. That's not bad.
Assistant to the GM. Hey, and they've got the 32nd pick now in the first round of the draft.
Yeah.
I do like what you said. I do think you draft a quarterback in the draft. I think there's probably going to be a decent one still at even 32.
Hey, Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round, and I don't even know what basement that Dan Marino was picked in, but I mean it was. I knew that would get a reaction. It was
basement.
I think
good quarterbacks are out there, and I honestly feel a quarterback in the NFL, it's more important that he's smart than he has got that that arm strength and the other stuff that you're looking for. The 6'4" guy and stuff. Height's way overrated in my book.
All right, so take the names out of it for a minute.
Yeah.
So take the names out of it for a minute. What does this team need? Either through free agency or through the draft. What do we need to address?
We need some. We need to get depth on that offensive line, and we need to kind of shore up some of the some of our special teams guys.
We could use a returner like that. I hear what you're saying. Maybe get a returner.
Yeah.
Someone that's dedicated to a burner, basically.
Yep. Maybe some cover guys, because we did get burnt. We got burnt almost every game.
I'm good with the secondary just for the fact that almost every guy out there is a 1st or 2nd round pick over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
And they're all young.
Special teams.
Yeah. So the secondary is a young group that's coming together. I really like the fact that they're growing together at the same time. They're making the same mistakes. They're learning from each other, and I like that. I think it's going to matter about the free, like we were just talking about, the free agents. If we're going to lose a linebacker, then they're going to need to draft a linebacker. If we're going to lose some defensive linemen, then they're going to need to draft some defensive linemen. So I do like the idea of drafting quarterback. You're right. Even if Tom is here next year, then what? We're going to go to Ryan Griffin III?
Wow.
He's
right?
gone.
No, I think he's still
on the
team.
roster. Yeah, he's on the roster.
All right. We got what?
All right, well, gentlemen, parting thoughts before we sign off?
Baseball, you're on deck.
Baseball's on deck. I had a great time this year. Watching the Bucs. I know I was a little rough on the defense and the Billy Goat early on. I take it all back.
Wow.
Congratulations to them. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Raise, you're up.
Are we going back to Game 6, boys?
Lightning are up too.
Ways away. It's a long ways away.
It is a very long way away.
Actually, the Lightning.
Yeah, the Lightning are. They're playing right now. Actually, I got them on the screen here. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. We're glad you were here. Thank you for the interaction, John and Ron, and some of the other folks that were in here. It's been awesome. This has been an awesome ride as Bucs fans for this football season, a season like none other. It doesn't have to be said anymore. I think everyone knows that. But that's it. We'll be back again next Sunday night, live at 7 o'clock. We'll look to see you then. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Click that like
look
button.
Out for our vlog coming out.
We have a vlog coming out as soon as I can get it edited. And TSG sends me his footage for our week building up to the Super Bowl and yesterday's activities, fun and activities. We did karaoke. What?
Oh my God!
All right,
video.
it is totally on video. Love it.
My cousin, Mr. Diggs, sat in for me on most of that.
Nice.
From Tampa Bay, main event.
Champa.
Bay.